Located deep in the Masurian woods of what was once East Prussia, the Wolf's Lair housed Adolf Hitler and 2,000 fellow Nazis from 1941 until its destruction in 1945. Deep in the woods of Kempseen, Poland, lies the crumbling remains of Adolf Hitler's secret outpost, the Wolf's Lair. Built in 1941, the covert complex included 50 bunkers and 70 barracks with 2 airfields and a railway station nearby. Hitler spent over 850 days at the Wolf's Lair, where he launched increasingly detached war strategies that fostered growing dissent in his regime. Perhaps the 2 most notable events that took place from within Hitler's bunker was that it served as headquarters for Operation Barbarossa, the Nazi invasion of the Soviet Union, and it was also where on July 20th, 1944, Nazi Colonel Klaus von Stauffenberg and several compatriots launched Operation Valkyrie, a failed assassination attempt on Hitler's life. From its sprawling grounds to the nefarious plans made within its boundaries, this is the history of Hitler's East Prussian war fortress. The Wolf's Lair, or Wolfsschanze, was originally conceived in late 1940, and its construction was completed on June 21, 1941. At this point in the war, Germany had already invaded Czechoslovakia, Poland, Denmark, Norway, Holland, Belgium, Luxembourg, and France. After launching Operation Barbarossa, which saw around 3 million Nazi troops invading the Soviet Union, Hitler moved into the Wolf's Lair and made it the de facto capital of Nazi German operations on the Eastern Front. Adolf Hitler virtually directed military operations on all fronts from the Wolf's Lair, which was outfitted with all the amenities he needed, including a barbershop, a restaurant, and even a casino. Not having to leave the bunker was important to Hitler, as he had grown increasingly paranoid and erratic during this time. Afraid of a possible bomber attack by the Western Allies, the complex was outfitted with steel-enforced concrete walls that were 6.7 feet thick and were camouflaged with trees and bushes. The Führer's bunker itself had 26-foot thick ceilings. All pathways were camouflaged as well with a mixture of trees and overhangs. Anti-aircraft guns were placed all around the complex with more than 54,000 landmines surrounding the site. The central complex and the Führer's bunker were surrounded by 3 security zones guarded by 2 SS units, the SS Begleitkommando des Führers and the Reichssicherheitsdienst. The Wehrmacht's Armored Führerbegleitbrigade was also held in readiness nearby. The security of the Wolf's Lair was also watched by listening troops whose task was to detect aircraft up to a radius of 100 kilometers away. The Wolf's Lair housed 2,000 people, from high-ranking officials and soldiers to waitstaff that were forced to taste Hitler's vegetarian meals for poison before they ate them. But there was another plot taking place in the Wolf's Lair that Hitler wasn't aware of. By 1944, Klaus von Stauffenberg, who was one of Hitler's high-ranking officers, had become disillusioned with the Führer's unbridled lust for power. With an overburdened military operating on all fronts and the D-Day invasions of June 1944 behind them, many German officers had become wary of Hitler's decisions and plotted his assassination in order to turn over control of the capital to the reserve army instead. The plot was codenamed Operation Valkyrie, or the 20th July plot, and hinged on von Stauffenberg's intimate knowledge of the Wolf's Lair. On July 20th, 1944, the officer managed to covertly deposit a bomb disguised as a suitcase at a meeting in the Wolf's Lair. But Hitler managed to escape unscathed when the suitcase was thoughtlessly pushed across the table, deflecting the blast away from Hitler. With the treasonous plot exposed, von Stauffenberg was executed the next day. When the Soviet forces approached the borders of East Prussia during the Baltic Offensive, Hitler was forced to evacuate the Lair on the 20th of November, 1944. Even though Hitler ordered it demolished in January 1945, many bunkers in the complex proved to be too sturdy to destroy. Most of the buildings were only partially destroyed due to their immense size and reinforced structures. The Soviet forces captured the abandoned remains of the Lair on 27 January without firing a shot, the same day that the Auschwitz was liberated farther south. Like and subscribe for more interesting videos like this.